Hello everyone, welcome to Prim ASMR. I hope you all are doing very wonderful today. Today we're going to finish Heart Throbs. We're going to be reading the fourth story today. So I wanted to start today's episode out by just going through and showing you what we've read so far. Number 27 from March, and it's March right now, so that's kind of cool. And the year that this was put out, because I've gotten a lot of questions on, how old this comic book is and stuff like that. So the year on this is 1954. Let me make sure. Yeah. Okay. And you can order this book online. It's going for about $30. I'm sure it's in way better condition than mine is. Mine's a little bit on the tattered side. But yeah. So I'm excited to get to the next story and complete this whole book with you guys. Okay. And I really admire the front page, its colors, and just everything about it. The yellow background, of course. And just the old-fashioned font and everything. I just really, really love that. Okay. So, to keep my comic book in the best condition, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the front cover, the sleeve of the comic book. And so I'm just going to do some soft page sounds and page flipping until we get to the story for today. today we are on this story here. And the title is She Stole My Man. So let's kind of just do a page flip through and see the pictures, the illustrations on this one before we start reading. Okay. So, looks like they are in a shop, in a shopping mall. You can see the escalator behind her. Looks like they go to several different places. I'm seeing a fountain and a park bench in the first page, so I'm guessing maybe, the setting is in one particular spot. So, like the other stories, they're going to be going different places. Okay, so I don't want to give too much away, because I want it to be a surprise for us both, because I haven't read this story, so this will be new for the both of us. Alright, I'm gonna start here at the top, okay? Alright. My anxious heart wanted Johnny Collins more than anything else on earth, and so like any young girl in love, I tried to speed my marriage along. But how was I to know that in doing so, another woman would steal his affections and threaten the romance I held so dear? So that's kind of the preview paragraph. Alright, let's get started with this first strip here. Oh, Johnny, don't let her break up our engagement. She only pays attention to you because you're destined for success. I love you for what you are. I had been engaged for some 6 months, and that morning, as I walked with my fiancé Johnny Collins, the prospect of an early marriage seemed as remote as ever. I've looked everywhere, Betty. There just isn't a job in town that offers enough money for us to get married. You must keep trying, Johnny dear. I'm sure you'll find something soon, and I'll be patient. You're quite a gal, honey. You deserve the best. That's why I want to get a position that pays well. You understand, don't you? Of course, Johnny, but I'm afraid you're a little over-anxious. Everyone starts at the bottom and works up. Now kiss me quick. I'm late for work. When Johnny held me in his arms and kissed me, our mutual problems seemed to leave my mind, and replacing it was the happy thought of being his wife. Oh, darling, I do so want you to be my husband soon. Please find a good job today, so that we can be married. Shortly, when I reported for duty at Bleeker's department store, it seemed as if my prayer was answered. Oh, so she works at the department store. That's interesting. That's why there were so many pictures of the different shops. Okay. Edwards, our floor walker, is leaving us next week, Bill. We'd better make arrangements. I'll have my secretary place an ad in tomorrow's paper. Gracious, a position right here in the store. If I can only locate Johnny, he can get the job before the ad is even printed. How wonderful. Also, they could work together in the same place. Okay, I managed to locate Johnny at the Williams Employment Agency. And do hurry, Johnny. Perhaps you can see Mr. Hincom's, the personal director. before he leaves for lunch. Fate seemed to be on our side that day, for after Johnny spoke with Mr. Hanscom, Yes, Johnny, did you get the job? Honey, you're looking at the new assistant floor walker of Bleeker's department store. I start first thing in the morning. This is a happy story so far. Okay. Oh, darling, I'm so happy. Now we can be married. Ha. Say, let's make sure this is a steady employment first. Of course, it doesn't pay too well to start with. But if we save a little each week together, Johnny, then soon we'll have a wonderful nest egg. Sure, and who knows, perhaps I'll work my way up to the presidency. Honey, looks like we're on our way at last. So here's a close-up at this page. All the pictures and stuff. Okay. It wasn't ideal boasting on Johnny's part. In the happy months ahead, he was promoted to floor walker, and the prospects of future advancements was always present. Say, that Johnny Collins is certainly some hunk of a man. And doing his job well, too. I overheard Mr. Hanscom this morning. They're considering him as a possible junior executive. Junior executive? I'm so proud of him. So she is overhearing what these ladies are talking about. When I told Johnny this, there seemed to be a dramatic change in him, and then he became acquainted with Alma Britt, the store's interior decorator. Oh, there's Johnny now. Yoo-hoo, Johnny. Huh? Oh, excuse me a moment, Alma. About dinner tonight. What time? Confound it, Betty. Haven't you any sense? Don't ever interrupt me when I'm busy. It's not good business. She was just asking him for dinner plans. Poor Betty. Okay. I am sorry, but you weren't with any customers, just Alma. It so happens that Alma can do me a lot of good around here. She has a great deal of influence with Mr. Hanscom. And I'll see you later. Johnny's words hurt me deeply. I tried desperately to find some answer for his attitude. He never spoke to me like that before. Sob. She's so sad. It's not like him. Johnny was always so kind and thoughtful. Perhaps he's just overworked. Yes, that must be it. Sob. Okay, so during the next few weeks, Johnny was constantly in Alma's company. At first, I thought of it only as a business association. But Johnny's working hard these days. Pretty soon now, I'm sure he'll be promoted. And Alma's just the girl to put in the good word, as Johnny says. But I later became suspicious of Alma's intentions when... Good grief, Johnny, that tie. You don't intend wearing it to dinner with me, do you? My girlfriend picked it out for me. Guess it was one of her bad days. I'll change it, Alma. Pick you up about 7. That Alma Britt. She's latching onto Johnny because he's destined for big things. Oh, if only Johnny could see she's only a phony. So, in the months to follow, I closed my eyes as Johnny lavished his attentions upon Alma. Oh, Johnny, you're so silly. Haha. I mustn't think anything of it. I mustn't. Step by step, our romance seemed to be moving toward a smash-up. Finally, my emotions got the best of me. Hiya, Betty. Have a bite to eat with us. Yes, Betty, do join us. I hardly think there's any reason to break up a happy twosome with a party of 3. Betty? After all, I'm sure that there's a great deal of important business you two wish to discuss. My, nasty little thing, isn't she? Oh, don't mind her, Alma. But a few days later, Betty, I've made it. Beginning tomorrow, I'm a junior executive of Bleeckers. Just call me boss. Johnny, oh Johnny, that's just grand. I'm proud of you, Johnny. Hey. And I'm sorry about my attitude with you and Alma, but you just remember, I'm a woman and it's natural to be jealous of the man you love. Sure, Betty. Well, we'll get together later and celebrate. So there's Alma in the background, looking at them like, and he's looking at Alma like, so, okay. Alright. I guess she did help him learn the business. It's only natural that he should want to tell her right away. But just as my cup of happiness seemed to be overflowing, Johnny changed. He became a strange, frightening person to me. Johnny, where were you last night? You didn't call. You're over 2 hours late. You look terrible. For Pete's sake, cut it, will you? I'm no $40 a week floor walker now. I've got special privileges. So, Johnny's actions turned from bad to worse. His dates were few and far between, and soon I learned the reason. He told me he couldn't see me because of an executive meeting tonight. All the time his broken dates have been because of her. I've lost him. I smothered my pride and continued on at Bleeckers, and Johnny lived the high life in his new position. Collins, where in thunder are those reports you promised me yesterday? I can't find them about. Well, Mr. Bleecker, matter of fact, I haven't had a chance to get them done yet. He's letting everything slip because of her. She's Snoopy. She's listening in on their conversation now. Okay. And later, Mr. Collins, there are the wrong invoice papers you sent down. All right. Don't make such a fuss about it. I'll get you the right ones. He's wearing himself out, night clubbing and sporting. He can't go on like this. There's Betty in the background again. My tortured heart cried out to warn him, but I no longer had any right to interfere. Finally. Please, don't bother me, Johnny. I have work to do. Alma told Johnny that. Look at her, pushing him away. And there's Betty again, listening in. Alright, so before we go to the last page, I'm just going to give you a look-see at this page. Alright. So I'm just going to tell you right now, this last page, Betty's about to tell Alma off, okay? So check out this picture. There's Betty, and there's Alma. And there's her pointer finger. Right. You don't want him now, do you, Alma? Because you can see just what I'm seeing. Johnny's on the skids. But remember, it was you that put him there. And now you are quitting because he isn't a winner any longer. Oh, go back to your elevator. That's what Alma said. The very next day it happened. Johnny was through. You're not cut out for this kind of position. We need steady, reliable men. Save your lungs, Bleecker, I'm going. So Johnny's fed up. He has had it with this job. Limp inside, I watched Johnny leave the store. Why should I care? He left me when I needed him most. But suddenly, I knew our love had been bigger than any other thing in the world. Johnny. So there she goes, chasing after the man she loves. Don't bother with me, Betty. I'm not worthy of it. I turned my back on you for a cheap bit of tinsel. I let a big success turn my head. But that's just it, darling. It's now that you need me most. That's what a real woman's for, Johnny. To help a man she loves when he does make a mistake. Betty, honey, I don't deserve a gal like you, but I'm sure glad I have you. I'll begin all over again, and this time we'll do it the right way. Johnny and I did begin all over again. A month later, we both had small paying, but good sound positions with an insurance company. Say, that new billing man certainly looks smart. Things are going to be interesting around here. So there's Alma Jr. looking at her love. Okay, just for me, I'm afraid, Alice. That big hunk of a man is all mine. He's my husband. So they did get married. So that's a good story. They had a happy ending. Even though he was a little bit shady there for a second. They got back together. So that's beautiful. Alright. So that's the end. That's the end of the comic book. But don't worry, if I find any more Heart Throbs comics, you bet I'm going to make videos. And, you know, I always get really sad when any series comes to an end, any movie or series, or just, you know, it's a moment in history that is, you know, summing up, I guess. So, the one thing that I do love about ending is there's always room for new now. So even though this is done and I have read, you know, this whole entire comic book to you guys, I have so many more comic books, so don't worry. I'm just really happy that we get to read together and kind of just lay back and chill out and read something funny, but at the same time, it's, you know, this was, I'm sure, you know, young women, and I'm sure young men too, read these back in the day, and I've gotten a lot of positive feedback on this comic book in particular, and I think because it's so relatable, you know, yeah, these can be cheesy stories if you look at them in a certain way, but at the same time, I think we've all had at least one of these situations in our life. Maybe not. Maybe it's something totally new, and that's why you find it interesting. You know, there's all kinds of different things. So, this last page here, safe, new, easy way, stop biting nails habit instantly. So that's a little cute ad that they had back in the day. Let's see. Send no money, 7-day trial offer. Let's see. And then on the back here, there's a little ad, and it says, gain more weight in 10 days or your money back. So yeah. I can't believe we read all of this. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in the sleeve.